value that we talk about positivity and love. And we really appreciate those that have subscribed to our channel, the returning and the new subscribers. We appreciate you. We are happy and we really appreciate your being here and your support to us. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord enlarge you. May the Lord protect you. May the Lord be with you together with your family. We don't take it for granted, guys. And today, I want us to look at something that we all look forward to. And this is the day that all of us are so happy and we look so much forward to it, and we are really happy when it arrives. And this is the day we are joined together as lovers. Two people that are in love come together, do a wedding, and they are joined together in a holy matrimony, and they become one. And this day, all of us will look forward to it. And love is a good thing. Love can make us to forget about everything, and we concentrate to the person we love. And therefore, when we see two lovebirds joining together in a holy matrimony, we don't take that for granted. And therefore, today I want us to look at a wedding day, or rather a wedding in Jamaica and a wedding in Kenya, and we're going to do some comparisons between these two weddings. I happened to go to a wedding visually in Jamaica, and I was really excited to watch that wedding. It was the wedding between the owner of Cameroon TV, and the lady was being called Sheba. So they were being joined together in a holy matrimony to start their marriage life. And I actually observed a lot, and I enjoyed the wedding. First of all, let me congratulate the new bride and groom, the new couple, actually, Mr. and Mrs. Cameroon. I really enjoyed your wedding, and actually if you had watched this video, I was so happy when you were dancing, when you were doing all those things. I was really enjoying the whole thing. And I want to say that I realized there is not much difference between a wedding in Kenya and a wedding in Jamaica. We have a lot of similarities. Like, for example, the clothes that the groom was wearing, they are the same suits that are worn here in Kenya. And by the way, the suits were so beautiful. The groom was wearing a white suit and black collar, while the maids were wearing blue suits. And it was very beautiful. So the same suits are worn here, the white suit, the blue suit, they can be even pink suits. People wear different types of suits here in Kenya. And I saw in Jamaica it is the same thing. Then something else I learned is that when you are walking down the aisle, both the maids and the bride and the groom, there is some dancing that takes place. I could see the maids to the bride and the maids to the groom. They were actually joining at some points, holding hands, dancing together, the lady and the man. And that is what we do here in Kenya. So at some point, you come from another angle and the other lady comes from an angle, and the man and the woman start dancing until they reach where the wedding is going to be joined. If it is a church, until they reach the front part of the church where the altar is. But this wedding was an open wedding. It was being done in an open crowd, and therefore these maids were coming from different directions, come join hands, and they start dancing until they reach where the priest was. And it was very enjoyable. The music that was being played was epic. The dancing of these people was epic. I really enjoyed the entry, both of the maids and the bride and the groom. When it was time for the bride to get in, there was this girl that went ahead of them, far much ahead of them, throwing flowers on the carpet, the red carpet. And And in Kenya, that is done slightly different because there is usually the flower girl, a small girl that reads. There can be a flower girl and a page boy. Do we call them page boys? Yeah. So these two small kids go carrying the flower basket and they go pouring it on the red carpet. But in Jamaica, this particular wedding I watched, the girl was not that young. She was slightly older, and she went far much ahead of the bride and poured the flowers on the red carpet. And then the bride was held, I believe, by the father. And that is exactly what we do here in Kenya. So the bride is usually brought by the parents until they reach the altar where the union is going to happen. But in our case, I saw in Jamaica, when this lady was brought by the father up to the altar, actually they didn't reach the altar. Somewhere along the way, the groom came out and greeted the father-in-law and hugged him and then took the lady while the father-in-law was waited for by someone else who took him away. But in Kenya, what we do, the parent to the bride hold the girl, they bring her to the altar, and then the parents to the groom hold the groom and bring him to the altar, and it is the pastor or the priest who is going to tell the two parents they hug, they exchange greetings, and then the bride is given officially to the other side, to the parents and to the groom by the parents. After this happens, both parents from both sides now move and the bride is left with the groom. So that was a slight difference I noted in this wedding. The decor was on top notch. By the way, the most weddings that I've gone in Kenya, the decors are usually flowers, just not big flowers, the small flowers that are put in the balloons. But in this particular wedding, it was these Christmas trees that were actually lined up along the path that leads to where the priest was. It was actually white Christmas trees, and they were very, very beautiful. The decor was on top notch. What about the girls' maids, the bride's maids? They were wearing nice outfits. By the way, those outfits were epic. I think they were somehow pinkish, and they were very, very beautiful. I really admired how the bridesmaid were fitted, the clothes they were wearing. They were very, very beautiful. And all of them were long with a trail, very, very beautiful. And it is like the theme of this wedding was white and blue. And therefore, the crowd, it is like it was a private wedding because it didn't have many people. But let me tell you, I came to realize that what Dimwango was talking about, Jamaicans love style. They love fashion. Because I was looking at the dresses the people who had attended the wedding were wearing. They were epic. Very beautiful dresses. Some were in blue, some were in red, some were in pink. Very beautiful outfits. And for sure, I realized that Jamaicans really love fashion and design. I'm saying for sure, very bad guys. Because it was so beautiful. I really enjoyed that wedding. So, that is something else I noted about this wedding. The dressing was perfect, both to the team that was the maids and even the people who had attended the wedding. They were wearing in a very, very beautiful ways. The other thing that I noted is that before the bride and the groom are joined, the priest usually preach concerning the wedding. And this particular preacher was talking about the love of Christ. And he was actually relating the love of Christ to the love of these two. And he was saying the love that Christ had to sacrifice himself to die for our sins, may that love sustain your union in this marriage, which was epic. I loved the preaching of this pastor, and it was actually very humorous. The people could keep on laughing because of the jokes that he was actually giving or talking, I don't know what I can say, giving to the audience. He was actually cracking the joke so much, and I loved it. Now, after the preacher had preached in Kenya, there is a lot of singing and a lot of dancing in between the preacher preaching, and even after he preaches, there is usually a lot of dancing, a lot of singing, a lot of all that. But in this particular wedding, I didn't see much singing in the part of the preacher. But after the wedding was joined and the couple went and they were taking photos, I realized that in Jamaica, there are so many photos. The bride, the groom, the best man and the best woman, and the brides, there was somewhere they were going and there was a lot of photo shooting taking place. I realized that. Then after the photo session, I saw that the bride changed her clothes, and I think the maids, because it was the dancing session, and the dancing was epic. The grooms had their spouses. I'm sure they were their spouses, because the type of dancing they were doing, it was very provocative. And all of them were dancing and dancing. I enjoyed that part, guys. There was a lot of dancing, a lot of going around like the Nigerians dancing. You know, the Nigerian dancing, they keep on going around and you dance and dance and dance. And I loved the dancing. The groom, the bride, the best man, the best woman, the best couple, actually the best couple, let me call them the best couple. There was a lot of kissing. I forgot that. When the priest talked about kissing, the bride and the groom did a kiss. And even after that, when it was photo session, there was a lot of kissing. That does not happen in Kenya. We just kiss after the bride has declared you are now husband and wife, and then you can kiss. And most of the people don't kiss that strong kiss. They just give a peck. Is it a peck? Yeah. But I found that in Jamaica, there is a lot of kissing. I think because of the white people influence. You know, here in Kenya, there is a lot of traditions that actually hold us from a lot of showing affection and love in public. And therefore, I noted that then this dancing that was taking place was also very provocative. In Kenya, we don't actually do that in the field, because it's like the traditions really prevent us from doing a lot of romance in front of the parents and in front of the public. So I saw in Jamaica there was a lot of dancing, a lot of merry, a lot of singing, and there is this part I noted. The groom sat down and the bride was dancing, sitting on him, and it was epic. Then the bride, there is a part I watched, the bride was seated down and the groom was actually coming, removing his coat and going under the chair. I could not tell what was happening, but that one we don't have it in Kenya. So I found that most of the things we share. The other thing that I found common was the food. After everything has been done, there is a lot of eating and a lot of celebrations, and I actually saw it in Jamaica. A lot of eating, a lot of celebrations, and a lot of exchange of hugs and those dances and kissing. By the way, I saw even the bride, the maids were kissing. In Kenya, it's only the bride and the groom that kisses. All the others that are actually the maids and the best couple, they don't kiss in public. You'll find that in African countries, kissing is not so much done in public. We don't do it in public. Maybe during the wedding, when the priest declares you are husband and wife, that is the only time you'll find people kissing. But nowadays, I'm finding young people, especially in Nairobi, the capital city of Kenya, people hugging and kissing. Initially, you could not hug in public, and actually that is why Amaro was telling Lucio, it is unlike Africa to go holding hands. Here we don't hold hands, we don't kiss in public, and it is very rare that, but nowadays I'm seeing a lot of hugging in public, but it was not there initially. So I saw that the traditions of Jamaica are really influenced by the Western traditions, which is okay. So I saw there is a lot of similarities and a lot of slight differences between a wedding in Jamaica and a wedding in Kenya. After the wedding, in Kenya, most couples are escorted to where they are going to spend their night together with their presents, the presents that have been given by friends, by relatives. So they usually are taken to where they are going to go so that they can spend time getting, if it is money, counting the money and depositing so that they can prepare for honeymoon. But that night is usually a very busy night for them, because when they go to the place where the gifts are kept, and some I think maybe they keep someone responsible to take care of the gifts while they go to their own hotel and then they plan for the honeymoon. So people here embrace honeymoon. I don't know whether that happens in Jamaica, because after that wedding was over, I didn't follow a lot of what happens after that. And by the way, you cannot know what happens after that, because it is the couple now to decide what they are going to do after that. Then there is this part in Kenya. Oh, I forgot. There is this part in Jamaica. I saw there were two drinks. I don't know whether it was yogurt or it was milk or whatever the drink was. The bride and the groom had their separate drinks, and they were to pour in one pot, all of them. And they were saying it is a sign that two families have been joined together to become one. That one we don't have in Kenya. And I've never seen it, by the way. If it is there, maybe the Kenyans in the house can tell us. But I've never seen that. I saw it in Jamaica. That there are two drinks, the bride and the groom take each one of them their own drink, and they pour in one common container, and the two drinks mix, meaning that the two families have come together, they are joined together, and now they have become one. I've not seen that much in Kenya. Then there is this part in Kenya whereby we throw the flowers so that those that are not married can actually compete holding the flowers so that they can know who will be the next on the line to do a wedding. I didn't see this in Jamaica. Maybe it was done later, 4 months later after the wedding, but I didn't see it. But here in Kenya, we really practice it. And then during the cake cutting, sorry for that, cake cutting. During the cake cutting in Kenya, it is actually read by the cake, is it called cake maids? Yeah, the cake maids. People who have been hired to direct on how this cake is going to be cut. I didn't see that in Jamaica, or maybe in this particular wedding, I didn't see that. And in Kenya, we have the cake maid who directs the bride and the groom on how to cut the cake, on how to feed them. And actually, when they feed each other, they are supposed to feed the parents of the bride and the parents of the groom, and the parents of the two sides are supposed to be given a whole cake to carry home. I don't know what happens in Jamaica, because I never followed to see what will happen, whether the parents are given the cake or what happens. So after the bride and the groom exchange the cake, the other cakes that remain are usually given to the mother to the bride and the mother to the groom so that they can take home. And they are also given in the field. The bride is supposed to feed the mother-in-law and feed her own mother, and the two parents, actually the mother, the father, the mother, the father on the other side. She's actually supposed to feed them, because we believe that is the first food she's serving the two sides, the groom side and the bride's side. The other thing that I have forgotten to say is that in Kenya, in a wedding, we have a tent for the in-laws and we have the tent for the bride's people. the relatives, the friends of the bride are kept in one tent, and the groom's parents and friends are kept in the other tent. And in most cases in Kenya, this happens in our open field, whereby even the food is served and it is eaten there in the field. And then in Kenya, when the bride comes from the photo session, I didn't see this in this particular wedding, whether there was a photo session. In Kenya, we usually have, after the priest has finished his work of joining these two, they go outside the venue for a photo session. When they are coming back, the bride is got by the groom's relatives dancing and merry, and they come singing and singing in the field, and all the other people who had attended the wedding join in the dancing, and they go around the circle, the bride and the groom reading the dance, and maybe the MC for the occasion actually reading them in the dance, and all the other people join and they go around the circle dancing and having fun. I didn't see this in Jamaica. Maybe it happens in other weddings, but in this particular wedding, I didn't see that. By the way, I enjoyed the whole episode of the wedding. I enjoyed how the bride was answering the questions. Actually, she was being asked, are you ready for so-and-so to be your lawful husband? And she was saying, yes, my husband. She was responding, yes, my husband. I found it very, very submissive, very, very good. So I really enjoyed this wedding, and actually it happened that the same day I was watching this wedding, I had gone for a wedding in Kenya, and therefore I was trying to compare what is happening here, what had happened during the day in the wedding I was in. And the two weddings were beautiful, the wedding in Kenya and the wedding I watched in Jamaica. It showed a lot of similarities, and the small differences were so entertaining, because those are the things that entertain us, the few differences that we have in different places. And therefore I say that today I'm going to bring to you content on the weddings, this important day in our lives, and we all look forward to it. We all dream about it, and when it comes, we enjoy it, and we are merry, and we are happy about it. Guys, I think I'll stop at that. See you during the next video.